Jesse, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Oh, here's the scenario. Bought a van, did not have any of the maintenance records, so we're buying a van inspection from the dealer, and it's going to need front brakes. We're at 3.5 millimeters and 4 millimeters, front and rear respectively. And they mentioned turning the rotors. Now, the last time I had experience with turning the rotors, different dealership, they essentially turned them till I was driving around on potato chips.
Well,
I'm not in love with the turning the rotors.
That's a bad experience that I would like for you to get beyond, and here's why. Number one, of all of the specifications that are listed for everything automotive, which is unbelievably long, with regard to and unbelievably ignored by many technicians. And I say torquing of spark plugs. I don't know anyone that torques spark plugs. I think they're 15-inch pounds. But I mean, we just put them in by hand and then turn another quarter around or to feel it. So and I'm sure there are people out there that torque the plug. If a plug's not properly torqued, the heat range won't be correct, because it is the torqued plug and the plug that takes the heat away from the shell. Anyway. Getting back to the machining of the rotors, I am absolutely against replacing any pad on any car due to wear or beyond 5,000 miles even without machining the rotor, and I will tell you why. If you think of a smooth lake, you know, where you throw the rock and it skips across the water, if you think of a smooth lake and you compare the smooth lake to and say that's the rotor and the pad is another lake, and they go together, then you've got, now imagine an ocean with 7-foot seas and you freeze the ocean. And you look at the surface of the, well, I got news for you. It's virtually impossible for any brake pad to mate, marry, and match the other surface of a rotor without machining the rotor. And even then, it takes up to 150 miles before every square centimeter of every space, and you're taking advantage of all of the available surface contact. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and so there you have it. That's my belief. I wouldn't do a brake job without machining the rotors. And one last point, Jesse, you mentioned about the dealer that cut your rotor so thin. Every rotor is cast in that rotor has a minimal thickness. And of all the things that I try to get my team at Car Clinic Service Pre-Repair to do, that's the easiest. And that is, they come up and they say, we can't cut this rotor, it's below specs. Well, how much below specs? Well, if I cut this groove out of it, it's going to be 15 thousandths or under specs. And so we say for our customers, to save money, leave the groove. If you've got it smooth, all you've got is like the brim of a hat with one little pinstripe groove around it. I'm thinking specifically now where you've had a debris that dug into the rotor. In that case, yes, you lose the width of the pinstripe. What is it? 60 thousandths groove. It can look really bad. Leave the groove, because if you dug down deeply enough to get to the bottom of that groove, you would have to throw the rotor away. So that's a judgment call. However, if eliminating any warpage or normal surface wear from a rotor renders it below the surface that's cast into the rotor, then that's a no-no. You have to replace the rotor. So there you have it. I appreciate your call, and I thank you for holding. It was a great call that you had, a great scenario for everyone out there, because brakes are commonly bad.